In the opening scenes of the movie, we are introduced to our two lead characters, Dominika Egorova and Nate Nash. The setting is modern-day Russia. Dominika is listening to music, while Nate is listening to a coded recording. As Nate decrypts the code and removes a weapon from underneath his desk, Dominika arrives at the theater and begins to apply makeup. Dominika is a famous ballerina, and as she begins to perform, we see Nate Nash, a CIA agent, enter the park to meet his Russian mole, codenamed Marble. The classical music playing over the scenes intensifies, as does the situation for our two leads. Nate is confronted by the police and fires a gun to create a distraction from his mole. He is chased through town, where he manages to make it to the US Embassy. Dominika is lifted and spun through the air by her leading man, but as he goes to put her down, he drops her and she lands badly. Nate drops to the floor in surrender at the same time as Dominika falls and breaks her ankle. Dominika's uncle, Ivan, who is the deputy director of the SVR, comes to visit and offers her a job working with him. He also gives her photographs of her lead man kissing the girl who replaced Dominika in the ballet. Dominika understands that she was dropped on purpose and goes to confront the pair. She walks into the theater to find the two ballet leads having sex in the bathroom. She beats them both violently with her walking stick, then leaves. When she returns home, her mother is on the floor, unable to get up, and it becomes clear to Dominika that she will have to take her uncle's job if she wishes to maintain good care for her mother. We see Dominika getting dressed up as her uncle's voice relays instructions. She is tasked with seducing Dmitry Ustinov for information, but when they go to his room, he begins to rape her. As this is happening, another SVR agent enters the room and kills Dmitry, strangling him with a piece of wire. Dmitry's blood drips onto Dominika, who is taken away by the SVR agent. Dominika is given two choices: train as an agent or be killed for witnessing the murder of Dmitry. Dominika is sent to State School 4 to train as a Red Sparrow. Here she meets the matron, who tells her that if she cannot be of service to her state, she will put a bullet through her head. Teaching begins, and the matron calls Dominika, along with a boy named Victor, to the front of the class and tells them to strip. Victor complies, but Dominika refuses. Meanwhile, Nate is back in Washington for his debrief, where he is suspended from foreign assignments. Nate argues that he has been with Marble for 3 years and Marble will refuse to work with anyone else. Dominika's training continues with activities such as shooting, lockpicking, and learning how different substances can be used and traced. Dominika excels. Nate is in a meeting with the CIA. He tells them that he has a tail, which makes him believe Marble is still alive, as the CIA have been unable to establish contact with Marble. They give Nate one final assignment: to meet Marble in Budapest and get him to communicate via one of the other agents. At State School 4, matron tells the class the purpose of a Red Sparrow. Every human being is a puzzle with a missing piece. A Red Sparrow must establish the real need of the other person and become that missing piece. The students are assigned returning soldiers and told to take care of their needs. Dominika picks a quiet boy and takes him to her room. Later, when she is showering, a fellow Sparrow walks in and tries to rape her. She rips off the shower handle and beats him with it. Dominika's uncle, Ivan, is in a meeting with the senior members of the SVR, including General Korchmoy, to discuss Nate. They are aware that Nate will be trying to establish contact with their mole, and they are keen to send in another agent to establish the mole's identity. Though Dominika has caused friction with the matron due to her continued refusal to obey orders, she is given the assignment in Budapest. She must get close to Nate, establish trust, and find the mole. Dominika moves into an apartment alongside another agent called Marta. She is quick to establish contact with Nate, but he is quick to realize that she is a Russian agent. Dominika inspects Marta's room and discovers that she is assigned to buy classified intelligence from a senior US staff member, Stephanie Boucher. Nate has invited Dominika to dinner, but she doesn't show, instead waiting outside for him to leave. She then follows him back to his apartment and gets him to talk about the incident in the park that we witnessed at the beginning of the movie. Dominika is contacted by Ivan. She tells him that she is building trust with Nate and has extracted information about the night in the park. When Ivan pushes her, asking why she is not working more quickly, Dominika says that she is helping Marta with her assignment when Dominika returns to her apartment. Marta has been brutally murdered for sharing the details of her assignment, and Dominika is threatened with the same if she fails to deliver results. Dominika goes to Nate and tells him everything. He offers her a position working for the CIA and tells her that he would never treat her how her uncle does. Dominika passes a lie detector given by the CIA and takes up their first assignment to meet with Miss Boucher and swap the intelligence for fake discs to give to the Russians. She completes this task, but as she leaves the hotel, she is captured by the Russians and taken home. Here she is tortured. We see her repeatedly asked if she gave Miss Boucher to the Americans. The first time she says no, she is stripped naked, locked in a room with her hands tied to the ceiling. Water pours down on her and there are blasts of intensely heavy metal music. The second time Dominika says no, she is beaten with a hammer across her legs, arms, and finally her head. The final time Dominika says that she did not give Miss Boucher to the Americans. She is threatened with a gun, but when the trigger is pulled, it becomes clear it wasn't loaded. Ivan enters the room to talk to Dominika. He tells her that he can only provide so much protection for her. She responds by telling her uncle that this was all part of her strategy. She had to make the Americans believe her credibility. She needed to give Nate a reason to believe her, and now that she has been tortured, Nate will have total trust in her. Dominika asks her uncle to let her go back and prove that she can get the job done efficiently. At this point, we are left to wonder whose side she is really on. Upon Dominika's return to Budapest, she is reunited with Nate. They passionately embrace, and the care they have for each other seems to be genuine. However, in the middle of the night, Dominika awakes to find that Nate is no longer asleep next to her. She walks out into the kitchen where she sees Nate tied to a chair, an SBR agent slowly torturing him. At first, we see the shock on Dominika's face, but she knows what she must do, and we soon see the distant look return to her eyes. She offers to help extract information from Nate by peeling off slices of his skin. Nate yells out in pain, but Dominika continues. As the trust builds between Dominika and the SBR agent, he lets down his guard just long enough for Dominika to attack him and free Nate. The two of them work together to bring down the Russian, but not without sustaining wounds and injuries themselves. As Dominika recovers in hospital, it looks like it is all over for her. She has blown her cover to the Russians by saving Nate's life, and she has no further cards to play. General Korchmoy comes to talk to her, a man who we have seen to be steadfast and intimidating throughout the movie. Just as all hope is lost, Korchmoy makes the shocking confession that it is he who is the mole. Korchmoy is impressed by Dominika's work and dedication and wants her to give him up in order to gain the full trust of the Russians. She can then take over his role by giving Russian intelligence to the USA. Korchmoy accepts his fate and awaits the arrival of the Russians to impose his imminent death. A team of Russians and Americans gather on the airfield to trade moles. Nate holds onto Dominika's arm and asks how she was able to give up the mole so easily. He is disappointed in her decision. We see Marble step out of the helicopter with a bag over his head. Nate continues to express his dismay by telling Dominika that the Russians will never let them take Marble alive. She says that one day he will understand what she has done, but Nate reiterates that he will not, because he is not in the habit of throwing people away. Dominika begins to move towards the Russians, Marble towards the Americans. All that is left is for Nate to confirm the mole's identity. The bag is lifted, and in a huge final twist we see that the man Dominika has named as the mole is not Korchmoy, but is in fact her uncle, Ivan. In a sequence of flashbacks, we see that Dominika has worked for a long time to implicate her uncle, removing a glass from Nate's apartment and placing it in Ivan's, and opening a bank account in Ivan's name into which she got the CIA to transfer money. There is a look of resignation in Ivan's eyes, and as he passes Dominika, he says, "You have killed me." Her response to him is, "Didn't I do well, uncle?" They walk past each other, but as Ivan approaches the Americans, he is shot dead. The Russians grab Dominika, who is in shock, and push her into the helicopter. She is later receiving a Medal of Honor from the Russians. Korchmoy gives her a nod as everyone applauds. Dominika returns to looking after her mother. She receives a phone call. There is no voice, only the sound of the classical ballet music, which makes her smile. Thanks for watching.